All right, everyone. So tonight, like I said, we're going to do a chair yoga and meditation. So if you're not already, go ahead and get yourself set up in a chair. That chair can be like a dining room chair, which is what I'm in today. It can be a couch if that's what you have near you. And you could also sit on the floor if you wanted, but I recommend having something that has a back to it. So that way you've got a little bit of support from the chair behind you. And if you've got arms on the chair, that's totally fine. We're just gonna kind of ignore them and pretend that they're not there unless we need them. So make sure that your feet can come to the ground. So if they can't come to the ground, go ahead and slide something underneath it. So it can be a pillow or a blanket. So that way your feet can kind of feel firmly rooted. And this is kind of a high chair for me, even though I'm pretty tall. And my heels are actually lifting a little bit. So I'm actually just gonna make sure that my feet can stay nice and rooted. So that way I can feel that grounding. And then you can go ahead and bring your hands on tops of your thighs, palms face up or down. You decide where you feel most comfortable today. If it feels okay, you're welcome to close your eyes or just soften through your gaze. And start to feel your shoulders release away from your ears. Really use the back of the chair for support here. So you don't have to feel like you're really activating a lot, like you're trying to sit with really good posture. It's okay to have a little slouch, but just really use the chair. And just start to check in with your body and your breath. Softening the jaw, and the muscles of your face. Even sensing that it does take a little bit of muscle awareness and engagement to keep yourself in a seated position. But I want you to start to feel like you're releasing into the chair a little bit more, like you're letting go just a little bit more. And feeling your breath moving in and out of your body. Feeling as though you're trying to send your breath all the way to the toes and all the way to the fingers. Filling up all the space in your body. Taking a few more rounds of breath here, settling into your practice tonight. Finding one final breath here. That's not a final breath for your whole practice. And if your palms were face up, go ahead and bring your palms down. And if your palms were down, go ahead and bring them up. So it might feel a little awkward at first because you probably went for the one that feels most comfortable on your arms. So maybe you have to rotate the shoulders in a different way, or even just kind of rotate the elbows in a different way in order to start to find a little more comfort. You're welcome to keep your eyes closed. We're just going to start to drop our chins towards our chest. Feel as though the head's getting heavy. And you might at first feel like the shoulders are trying to come with you. So almost a little rounding in the upper back. But then I want you to keep the chin heavy and start to roll the shoulder heads back. Like you're trying to create some space along the front of the chest. So creating a little bit of resistance with that head coming forward. And then start to rock your chin across the chest, just really slowly from side to side. Now, if you feel like you get dizzy, or if you get dizzy easier, I would recommend leaving your eyes open and finding a space in front of you to stare at. If you do that and you're not feeling good, just keep your head in the center of your chest and just pause and breathe. So always remembering that if something's not feeling good, or if it's becoming painful, or if it's creating dizziness or anything like that, you can go ahead and always take it a step back or ignore me completely and find something else for a few moments. We're all going to start to bring our right ear towards our right shoulder. And allow the head to get nice and heavy here. And heavy doesn't mean that you're trying to press the right ear all the way to the right shoulder, because it's not actually going to reach. But just letting the neck relax and feel like it's not working so hard to hold your head up. And then let your left arm hang down by the side. So if you've got an arm on the chair, you have it like on the side of the chair, just try to bring it around it, depending on where the arm is sitting, and your arm can even rest on it. It may not be the most comfortable, but I just want you to feel that left arm get nice and heavy. And again, you're not trying to press the fingertips towards the floor, you're just letting it kind of relax. And just that action will create a little bit more stretch on the left side of the neck. If tuning into your breath helps you focus and stay present, I always welcome you to come back there. Just one more breath here. So keep your left arm dangling by the side and nice and slowly bring your head all the way up straight. Relax the shoulders. And then you'll bring your left hand back to the top of your left thigh. Again, you're welcome to shift and change position of the palms if that felt good last time. If they were up, you can bring them down. If they were down, you can bring them up. And then allow the chin to come back towards the center of the chest. If that gentle rocking from side to side feels okay, go for it. Or you can just stay still. And start to bring the left ear to the left shoulder. And just letting the head get nice and heavy. And it may not feel like you're doing a lot here, and you may feel a big stretch or you may not feel a big stretch. There's all these tiny muscles in our neck and that hold up our skull, and even muscles around our head and their skull that are working really hard and can feel pretty tense. Even just remembering to take a few moments to stretch out the neck can help us release it, or at least begin to release it. And start to bring your right arm down by your right side. Again, if you've got an arm on the chair, just adjust your arm as needed for it. I'm just letting my fingertips dangle. And it gazes forward. My eyes might be open or closed, wherever I feel most comfortable. Couple more breaths here. And then you'll keep your arm dangling. And just nice and slow, start to bring your head up. Pause with the fingertips dangling. And then begin to place your hand back on your thigh. And again, it doesn't matter where the palms are at. And we've been sitting relatively still for quite some time already. So let's go ahead and add some movement in the upper body. So we're gonna do some cat-cow. So round the spine, let the chin come towards the chest, and you're gonna feel like you're really trying to round the whole back body, creating some breathing room in the back of the spine. And then you'll open the heart, look forward, feel like you're trying to squeeze the shoulder blades together and really open the chest and the front of the body. And you can take these two moves as full as this feels good in your body today. I know I've been sitting a lot today, so I haven't done this. So it feels really good to stretch it and really go into that full range of motion I have right here. But you decide how deep you want to go. And then just moving through the two moves a few more times, rounding the spine and opening the heart. Let's do two more rounds. You're welcome to bring your breath into it. Finishing up your next round. And then come back to a neutral spine. And then let's start to walk both hands on towards the right leg. So it doesn't matter if that means you're on the inside of the leg, the top of the leg, or the outside of the leg. But as you walk your hands to the right, start to twist your body towards the right. So this is, if you have an arm on the chair, this is a really great place to put your hands, and then just kind of use that. If you want a little bit of support as you twist, you can always turn so your right hip is towards the back of your chair and use the back of the chair that way. That's also a really great way to do it, especially if you're feeling like your hands on the leg, they're just not letting you get where you want to go with this twist. I wouldn't necessarily throw the arm on the back of the chair unless it's like lower. If you're facing forward, sorry. And then start to bring your gaze all the way over your right shoulder, as far as it wants to go here. Just one more breath. Start to untwist, come all the way back to the center. Take a full breath here, pausing in the middle. And then start to walk your hands over to the left leg. And again, you can always bring your left hip towards the back of the chair and use the back of your chair to come into that twist. It is totally up to you whether you use the chair to twist you or if you just use gravity to twist you. And your sides are likely going to feel a little bit different. You can usually go one way a little bit further than the other way, and that's okay. Take one more breath here. Oh, sorry, I forgot to have you look over your left shoulder. Look over your left shoulder. I knew there was something missing. So look all the way over your left shoulder as you come into that twist as far as your neck wants to go. And we'll do a couple extra breaths here for good luck. And then start to untwist, bring yourself all the way back to the center. And let's roll your shoulders, a really big roll backwards. And then really big roll forward, almost like you're gonna do the butterfly stroke. And if you need to wiggle anything out in between, go for it. Let's do some movement with the legs. We've been sitting for a bit. So you're gonna scoot towards the front of your chair, as long as you still feel supported there, like you can stay up. If you don't, stay scooted back in your chair. And then just start to extend your right leg forward. I'm just gonna scoot my chair back a little bit. And then just extend your right leg forward. The left foot is gonna stay on the floor. And I'm gonna flex my foot and keep the heel on the ground. And then I'm gonna point my toes as if I'm trying to get my toes onto the ground. And I may not. So I'll flex my foot, bringing the toes up towards my shin. Noticing if my back body wants to try to lean back with me and want to try to stay upright. And then point my toes, like I'm trying to point my toes all the way forward. And we'll do that a couple more times. So flex and point and flex and point. One more, flex and point. And then just start to roll your ankle. So you'll probably let the heel flit up off of the floor a little bit. Again, notice if you lean back, I totally do that, to kind of hold yourself more upright. You actually have to engage the core a little bit more in order to do this. And then roll the ankle the other way. You can always gently hold the edges of the chair. And then release the foot down, place the foot back on the floor. And start to extend your left leg long. Flex the foot, feel like the toes are trying to point up to the shin. And then point the toes forward, like you're trying to get all your toes onto the ground. And flex. And point. Flex. And point. If as you're doing any of these, it feels really good to stay in one position for a couple extra moments, go for it. You know, the back of my left leg is always much tighter than my right. It feels good to just pause here sometimes with my foot flexed. But then I'll want to get the nice counter and making sure I'm releasing the front of the ankle as well. So let's do that one more time. And I'll lift the heel up and I'll just roll the ankle. Maybe it cracks a little bit. A little engagement of your core. And then release the foot down and place the foot back on the floor. So you'll still stay a little scooted forward. And start to lift your right knee up off of the floor. And again, bring a little engagement to the core because you're likely going to lean back. So lift the foot up off the floor as high as it wants to go. And then release the foot down. And now lift the left foot up off of the floor. Again, as high as it wants to go. And release the foot to the ground. So almost as if you're marching. So go ahead and lift the right foot and lower. Left foot and lower. Couple more marches, right foot and lower. Left foot and lower. Right foot and hold. Just your leg up, not your breath. And if it feels okay, start to bring your right ankle on top of your left knee. If it doesn't want to come all the way to the top of the knee, just cross your right ankle over the left knee. I'm sorry, over the left ankle. But I'm keeping it almost like a reach a little bit. So instead of scooting my left foot to center, so that way I have the ankle cross at the center of my chair, I'm actually a little kind of crookedly crossed to the left. So it doesn't matter if it's on the ankle or on the knee. If you have something to rest your ankle on, you can have it somewhere on the shin, but I don't want you to feel like you're working really hard to hold it up there. And you can relax your foot. And maybe you stay right here. Or, and being really mindful as you do this, so you don't go too far forward, maybe just start to lean a little forward. And maybe that lean forward comes with a rounding of the spine. So if you've done, and many of you have done like mat yoga with me, this is like our figure 4 stretch on our backs, except we're in a chair this time. You can pretty much do any shape that we do on the ground, either standing, laying down, on our belly or our back, seated. We can pretty much do them all in some variation in a chair. And again, I'm really just kind of feeling like I'm leaning forward. I'm kind of just leaning on my arm, my arms on my leg to hold me up. And I'm just gonna take one more breath. And nice and slowly, I'll start to bring myself up. My ankle was all the way up at my knee. I'm gonna slide it down to my other ankle, meet everyone else, and then we'll all place the right foot on the floor. And then start to lift your left foot up off of the floor. Forget what just happened because your sides are totally different. And maybe that left ankle starts to cross on top of the right knee. Or maybe it stays down at the ankle. Maybe you kind of play with both and you see where works for you on this side. You can relax the foot, try not to let it work too hard. And again, you might stay right here, or you can lean a little forward, just a little bit. You don't want to lean too far forward. And a rounding of the spine. That rounding of the spine is just going to help target some of the muscles in our lower back and our hips that we're trying to go for here. Couple more breaths here. And nice and slow, start to bring yourself up. If your ankle was on your knee, let it slide down to your other ankle. And then uncross the legs. And you can do anything here that feels good. Maybe you're kind of just lifting the heels and lowering. Maybe you're rolling the ankles again. And if it feels okay, let's go ahead and stand, just because we've been sitting for a while, and then we're gonna come back to sitting for the end of our final meditation in a little bit. If you don't want to stand, that's totally fine. Just stay seated. And I will tell you what to do. I'm just gonna turn my chair because I want you to come to the back of the chair. And you can hold the back of the chair, and you can hold it as much as you want or as little as you want. And then start to just lift your right heel up off of the floor. So my toes are still on the ground. If you're still seated, you're just lifting your right heel up off of the floor. And then maybe you start to let the whole foot float up off of the floor. So if I'm seated, maybe my whole foot is just floating up off the floor, kind of like we did before. Still working that engagement and power of the hip flexor on the right side. If you're standing, you're adding a little bit more on the left side as well by activating your balancing muscles. And again, you've got the chair here to use or not to use. And just one more breath. Release the foot all the way back to the ground. You'll probably feel like you want to shake it off. Let's see if you can kind of just pause for a moment. And then shift the weight into the right foot. Let the left heel come up off of the floor. And start to float the left foot up all the way off of the floor, knowing that the sides are going to feel different. It might feel like one side is working a lot harder than the other. Use your breath to hold you. Couple more breaths here. And lower the foot all the way down. Again, try to resist any urge to just move right away when you place the foot down. Focus more on trying to just kind of soften the legs a bit. And now we're gonna do something similar. So you'll start to shift onto the left foot, let the right heel lift up off of the floor. If you're seated, you're gonna do the same thing. Again, you've got your chair, you can push it forward, you can keep your hands on or take them off. And then this time, instead of bringing the knee into the chest, you're gonna kick your heel to your butt. So even if you're seated on the chair, it's kind of that same action, except instead of lifting my knee up, I'm gonna kick my heel, almost like I'm trying to kick my butt. So it probably feels a little more awkward. And that really could be almost just like I'm stepping my foot kind of back a little bit. Especially when we're seated for a while. Just kind of giving the back of our leg a little more power and also stretching through with the front of the leg. It may feel harder, it may not feel as hard as when it's forward. Just one more breath. Release the foot to the ground. Shift the weight right away into your right foot. Lift your left heel up off of the ground. Just to get you started, and then start to kick your heel towards your butt. So whether that means from your chair or from standing. Your foot can be pointed or flexed. You decide. Take one more breath. Release the foot all the way back to the ground. And this time, if you really want to shake it off and find any wiggles, go for it. Because we'll all make our way back towards sitting in our chair. There. And just take a moment to resettle into your chair. So you can close your eyes or soften your gaze. Again, try to let the feet be flat on the ground. Adding levels of support if you need it. And then if you feel yourself really trying to sit up taller and you're not really using the back of the chair, assuming that the back of the chair isn't terribly far away, try to lean back into that. Because I want you to feel the back body supported as much as it can, and the backs of the legs supported as much as you can, and the feet grounded as much as you can. So that way you can start to release some of the muscles. And release doesn't necessarily mean completely letting go. That can be very challenging, but it does mean just like 0.5% more, 1% more, 2% more, just letting it go just piece by piece. And if it feels okay, I encourage you to close your eyes. Of course, you are welcome to leave them soft and a little open. Just like at the beginning of our practice, palms can be up or down on your lap. But if you are looking for a little bit more grounding tonight, go ahead and place the palms down. And if you're looking for a little bit more open, go ahead and place the palms up. If you're not sure, I like to think of I'm needing grounding when I'm feeling overwhelmed or like I'm running around with my head cut off, or trying to do too much, or don't have a clear focus about what I'm trying to do. And I just need a little bit to reconnect. If you're looking for a little bit more open, maybe you're feeling really set in your ways, and you really just want to invite some more in. So whatever that more is, either flexibility, awareness, people, things, anything, opportunity, can be anything. Really just go with that instinct about what you need. Feel the shoulders release away from the ears. Just notice the next couple of breaths. Just feel the air go in and out. Start to bring some awareness to the crown of the head. Going to lead you through a body scan. And all you have to do here is listen to my voice. And I will call out and just bring attention and awareness to different places in the body. And all you need to do is listen. Maybe bring some awareness to those places that I'll name. We're sending your breath to those places. Just noticing, observing, and just feeling. As you begin at the crown of your head, start to notice your forehead, your third eye, your cheeks, your ears, your mouth, your chin, front of your throat, chest, front of the right shoulder, the right upper arm, the right forearm, top of your right hand, fingers, the back of your right arm, your elbow, back of your right shoulder, back of your neck, the back of your left shoulder, back of your left arm, your left forearm, your left palm, your left fingers, top of your left hand, your left elbow, front of your left arm, front of your left shoulder, your left lung, the center of your chest, down into your belly, your lower belly, your right hip, front of your left leg, of your right leg, your right knee, right shin, right ankle, top of the right foot, your right toes, sole of the right foot, right calf, the back of your right leg, the back of your right hip, your lower back, your middle back, your upper back, your middle back, your lower back, back of your left hip, back of your left leg, your left calf, left ankle, bottom of your left foot, left toes, top of your left foot, left shin, left knee, top of the left leg, left hip, lower belly, middle belly, upper belly, to your heart. And feel that awareness expand out from your heart space, connecting each part of your body to your breath, to your awareness. Pausing here in silence. Taking some gratitude for your movement, for your breath, for your awareness tonight. Allowing your breath to soften, allowing your body to soften. Shavasana. Starting to bring some awareness back into the space. Feeling your next inhale and your next exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Starting to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll your shoulders. Maybe let your arms dangle by your side. Even just feel the feet lift up and lower down, maybe together or one at a time. And allow your chin to come towards your chest. Let the head get nice and heavy. Nice and slowly start to open up your eyes. You can keep your chin towards your chest and just start to bring your hands to your heart center or just resting your hands on your heart. Thanking yourself for making it to your practice today, for your awareness, for your breath, for your body, and most importantly for yourself. Namaste.